We're going to just cover the economy. We're going to get into a bunch of other news I haven't even covered yet. And then I'm going to be getting on an airplane today. I'm flying out to California for KSCO, KSCO.com, 2 live events I'm doing Sunday and Monday, and the tickets are almost sold out. Get tickets at KSCO.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit eFoodsDirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's eFoodsDirect.com or 800-409-5633.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. Put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We're going to Bob Chapman in a moment, but I wanted to talk about this radio broadcast briefly and the news websites, the films we make, everything we do. I think it's important for people to realize that it is a godsend that the internet and alternative media is still alive, free, and growing. And I don't want people to, including myself, to take it for granted that any time they could launch a giant cyber attack and use it to shut down the web for a while and then come in with draconian rules in the aftermath to curtail free speech. This is all being proposed by the White House. This is being proposed by the Pentagon. You just heard Colonel Anthony Shaffer agree with me. I mean, this is happening. If you're not aware of it, you know, we cover it at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We are constantly attacked by sophisticated denial of service attacks. We are constantly under attack. We don't talk about it 9 times out of 10. Last night, somebody went into the Genesis GCNlive.com servers, corrupted things, wrote over things. That's a problem we went through over the years, and we've gotten better and better at being able to stop it. So they just do zombie attacks, zombie computer attacks, where they go take over a bunch of machines, university machines in Tokyo, whatever, and attack us. The system is demonizing us at every level. Why? Because we're effective, and we're a platform for people like Dr. Paul Craig Roberts and Max Kaiser and Gerald Celente and Bob Chapman and Anthony Shaffer and Ron Paul and Jesse Ventura and EPA whistleblowers. I mean, just think of the guest we have here in our attempt to demonstrate and document with true credibility what's happening. I mean, the government knows sodium fluoride attacks children's organs and lowers IQs. The government knows DU is deadly for troops. The government knows that they've allowed mortgage companies to engage in fraud for over a decade. You know, all of this is out in the open, but you got a bunch of people in fancy suits on CNN, Fox up there talking about their credibility all day. They have no credibility overall. NPR fires Juan Williams for doing a classic cliche statement that everyone says, oh, I get scared when I see a guy in full Muslim dress, but I shouldn't, because when a white guy, you know, carries out a terror attack, we don't blame all white people, and they fire him. And then there's all these discussions about, you know, credibility and how credible NPR is. NPR is a joke. NPR was founded by the Rockefeller Foundation. It then begs for money every month, year-round. They're in their big pledge drive right now. And they raise tens of millions of dollars to sit there and feed you pro-war disinformation that they call liberal. And Juan Williams pointed out he's the only black person on air at NPR nationally. That's the diversity of NPR. Okay? Now, whatever you think of what Juan Williams says, I don't agree with much of what he says. The point is that it just illustrated to me that, oh, this is now hurting NPR's fundraising. Because this happened this week and the bad publicity. And somehow the media, the dominant media, which isn't so dominant anymore, they've tried to convince patriot groups, libertarians, conservatives, people that are anti-globalist, that it's bad for us to ask for money, that it's bad for us to build an operation, that it's bad for us to sell a book. Think about that mind game and how crazy that is. You've got tens of billions of federal money in behavior placements, what the government calls it. I call it propaganda placement, with storylines and TV shows, fictions, you know, dramas, sitcoms, cop shows, CSI, all of this. That's programmed. See, the mainstream media is a government outfit, by and large. NPR is totally a foundation outfit / government. And so we could do so much more if people remember to support our sponsors, to buy the books, the videos, the T-shirts. It all gets the word out, but plus it supports the overall operation. If folks will give to the money bomb. You know, we've raised $420,000. Sounds like a lot. It's not. When you're trying to finish a studio, even with the cheapest gear out there that works, and trying to get the people in place, we could do so much more if we weren't spending all our time trying to raise money. People are like, well, you have sponsors on, and you do this, that, and you're pitching your videos. Yeah, like, you know, once a show. How are we supposed to do this? This is a real media operation. It takes a lot of money. And I don't have the Rockefellers funding us. I want to hit that $500,000 number. And I hope a lot of people out there, especially middle-class folks, you know, the government comes and raises your taxes and takes your money and then uses it for propaganda against you. This is a vote with your dollars to say, hey, we're going to support the alternative media. And believe me, this show's having a global effect. The films, the broadcasts, the news websites. So if you want to donate, InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, or 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. Because we're going into this insane depression. We're going into all these wars. We're going into all these problems. We don't need to just survive, which is even a question of that, the way things are going at the current level we're at. We need to expand. Okay, I'm not going to sit here on my laurels, folks. This is life or death situation. And I want to thank all of you that have supported us. We couldn't do any of it without you. So remember the online video bookstore, Infowars.com. Remember PrisonPlanet.tv, all my films, thousands of pieces of media, a higher quality commercial-free podcast, 15 cents a day. That's how we pay for the bandwidth. PrisonPlanet.tv. And folks, I want to thank those that have stepped up to the plate. I want to ask others, you just spread the word about the radio show, the free podcast, the free iPhone app. I mean, I try to give everything away for free. And it's those core people that understand what life is like and what it's like to meet a payroll, who do purchase the books, the videos, that do make the donations, who do support the sponsors. You make it all possible. We couldn't do any of this without you. I mean, you know, 5 years ago, Genesis came this close to disappearing. It was so in the red. I mean, that's the type of situations that go on that we could tell you about years later. We couldn't do any of this without you. We couldn't have 400 plus affiliates. That's all the shows on Genesis without you. We're having a huge effect. I talk to guests all the time now. They say as they drive across the country, they hear me on the radio all the time. We're on a lot of stations now. We're really breaking through, but we're breaking through right at the point we're going into depression. Right at the point that everybody goes, wow, these people know what they're talking about. Right at the point that happens, the economy's falling apart. So it's a catch-22, and I understand that. But it's only going to get worse if we don't reverse this system. I want to get into the economy, a bunch of other news with Bob Chapman, who I appreciate holding, theinternationalforecaster.com. But Bob, what's your take on what I just said? Or you always have a great way of crystallizing it, boiling it down concisely. But, I mean, what's your view on what I just said?
Well, first of all, listening to the Colonel and yourself earlier, it just goes to show that the things that we thought were going on are going on. And we're in danger of losing the Internet at any given time. With that said, we have to get more powerful. And yes, we know there's a depression going on, and it's going to get worse. But we need you. We need people throughout the entire world to be able to understand what's going on. And, Alex, you know that, but nobody knows it better than I because we have subscribers from everywhere. And they say, we've got the same problems. We get the same kind of people behind the scenes running our country. And there's lots of countries that people tell me that they're having those problems. So we've got to do what we've got to do. And Alex and Genesis as well needs funds. And the generation of profits from Genesis goes into all these programs, operating 24/7, reaching all over the world. And so doing business, not only with Alex and the things he has for you, but also Genesis itself.
Well, I mean, Bob,
them in the coins and in the bullion. Go ahead.
No, I mean, Bob, think about in the spectrum of resistance, Genesis, Ron Paul, the group of guests we have on, the experts, represents the most powerful constellation of resistance against the globalists. We're it, folks, and think of the effects we've already had. Listeners, just spreading the word about the radio show, the films, the websites, just spreading the word about the information we're covering, the spectrum of powerful minds we bring together, just that is already having a giant effect. Realize the immediacy and the seriousness of the time frame we're in on getting the word out. That's the most important thing. People spreading the word. That's why we're having a bigger and bigger effect. That's why we're under attack. And as Bob said, we need to be flush with cash, not hurting for cash. We need to be powerful. We're doing something dangerous, okay? We're going head up against the criminals, calling them out, and not mincing words. I mean, that's a powerful thing, isn't it, Bob?
It certainly is. And it's probably the basis to my history on the radio. And I just felt, when I was a little boy, I said to myself, gee, if you tell a lie, you have to tell about 20 of them to cover it, so it's not worth it. So you tell people the truth all the time, and that's what this is really all about.
Well, going back 40-plus years ago when you started fighting the globalists, you're one of the only living, maybe a half dozen people, icons out there. I mean, A, could you ever have imagined that the tyranny would actually go this far? And B, could you ever imagine from the meager beginnings how many people we now reach?
Well, first of all, we were running around with pamphlets,